Let me show you how to make homemade carne guisada, also known as beef stew. Let's get started. How's it going, everybody? Funky Cold Medina DIY back again with another video. I'd first like to thank everyone that subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much for the support. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing and smash that like button. Today I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to kick it up to more of an intermediate level. So today we're going to make some carne guisada. So basically that's a beef stew. These are the ingredients that I'm going to use. I'll have the exact measurements in the description. So we have smoked paprika, garlic powder, chipotle powder, onion powder, Mexican oregano, black pepper, ground cumin, salt, half of a cinnamon stick, 2 bay leaves. This is whole cumin seed that I'm going to ground up. And this is optional. If you like a little bit more spice, add some cayenne pepper. And as far as the vegetables go, we're going to have 1 bell pepper, 1 green bell pepper, half of an onion. I use a yellow onion, 1 jalapeno, and 5 garlic cloves. And for the meat, I'm going to use about 3 pounds of beef stew meat. I'm going to go ahead and cut all the vegetables up and get them together, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, the first thing we're going to do is turn on our pressure cooker. You can do this on a pot on the stove. Cook it for about maybe 2 to 3 hours on low, and you'll have perfect tender stew meat. But I found the pressure cooker is way faster. This takes about 45 minutes, maybe 50. First thing we're going to do is turn it on to brown so we can brown the meat. Start it. I'm going to show you something with the lid to check for before you start. Now with your lid, make sure this gasket is nice and tight and fitted inside the groove. See right here, it's sticking out. So tuck it in underneath that little ring. That way you can get a good seal when you put your lid on. Get yourself 6 cups of water, put it in your microwave, and heat it up for 3 minutes. While your pressure cooker is heating up, go ahead and put a little bit of oil on the bottom so we can sear up the stew meat. Maybe about 2 tablespoons. Now before we brown the meat, go ahead and get yourself 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and 3 tablespoons of butter. This is going to be used for our thickening agent to thicken up the stew. Now we're about to go ahead and put the flour and butter in there. But whenever you're using the flour and a fat mixture, whether it's butter or oil, it has to be even. So use the same amount of flour that you use for the butter or oil. So in this case, 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter or fat. So I'm thinking about there's maybe 2 tablespoons of fat in there, so I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon. And then the rest of the flour. Just go ahead and stir that up. Now we're going to go ahead and grind up our seasonings. This is the cinnamon. Now you don't have to use fresh cinnamon for this. You can use the powdered version, but this one just tastes a lot better. We're gonna put our cumin seeds in there. We're gonna put a little bit of salt. That helps grind it up a little bit better. Put our garlic. All right, onto the pot. All right, it's now time to put our spices in there. Let's go ahead and put our oregano, crush it up between your fingers so you can release some of the oils from the oregano. Once you get your spices in there, go ahead and just give it a quick stir. You can see there's some nice color on the meat there. And we're gonna go ahead and put all our vegetables in there. We'll cook it for maybe a couple of minutes. Just give it a quick stir. And go ahead, I decided to put another tablespoon of butter. I felt it was a little dry. And add a little bit of salt here. The vegetables, they don't come seasoned, so you gotta season those. I know it looked like a lot of salt, but you're gonna add water to this, so it's gonna dilute it. And I added a little bit more cumin, a little bit more smoked paprika. And like I said, guys, the exact amounts will be in the description down below. And added some garlic powder. You have to pour it in just like that. And I got the rest of the spices out of that molcajete. Just give everything a quick stir. I'm gonna go ahead, and since I added that butter, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more flour in there, a tablespoon of flour. Remember, same amount of fat, same amount of flour. And when you pour your water in there, just pour it in where it barely covers the top. Now go ahead and give everything a quick stir. Go ahead and put your bay leaves in there and let it come to a boil. That way you'll know how thick your gravy will be with the stew. Now we're going to go ahead and start pressure cooking. So first we're going to stop the browning process, go to pressure cook, and we're going to do, let's say 50 minutes. Start it. Go ahead and put your lid on and make sure it locks. Make sure your switch here is set to pressure. Whenever you're ready to check your food in the pressure cooker, you're gonna move this lever here to the steam. To make sure steam doesn't go all over the place, you can put a towel over this opening here, and then it'll keep the steam inside the towel. So let me show you how to do that. Just like that. Let's go ahead and check it out and see how it came out. That's looking pretty good. Let's see with the consistency, the thickness of it. All right, so for me, I'm probably gonna cook it another 10 minutes. Now you can either cook it for another 10 minutes to thicken up, or let me show you another little trick. Go ahead and get yourself about 2 tablespoons of water, cold water, and get about a tablespoon of cornstarch. And go ahead and just mix that up. Now your liquid has to be cold, it won't dissolve in hot water, you'll be real lumpy. And if you're gonna use flour, use hot water for the flour. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that into our stew. Give it a mix. This will really thicken up the stew. It's already starting to thicken up now. All right, after about 10 minutes of it cooking, go ahead and turn your heat off and let it cool down. It'll thicken up also when it cools. All right, let's go ahead and check our stew. So I can already tell it's perfect. Now, while you're checking it for thickness, go ahead and check also if it needs some more salt or any other seasoning. So go take a break. You've earned it. We'll come back to this and plate it up and show you what it looks like. Here we go, guys. Carne Guisada. Perfect dinner recipe. And this is how usually we'll eat it. I'll make some mashed potatoes on the side, some tortillas, and we'll put the mashed potatoes inside the tortilla and some of the carne guisada, just like a taco, and put some salsa on it. Oh, it's perfect. Let me know what you think in the comments section, guys. Now, is this dish traditional? No, not necessarily. There's not a lot of places that serve mashed potatoes along with the carne guisada, but this is what I grew up on. So I'm just sharing this recipe with you all, and the dish is amazing. As you can see, there's a lot of spice into it, there's a lot of love, and the family loves it every time I cook it. I'll leave you 2 links with the recipe for the green salsa that I used with this dish, and a link on how to make the flour tortillas that you see here. I'll make a video in the near future on how to make the mashed potatoes. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing and smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. I'll see everyone on the next video. Have a great day, everyone.